White House says it will submit ballroom plans for review, with demolition already underway. Washington, Oct. 21, Reuters. The White House said on Tuesday it will submit plans for President Donald Trump's $250 million White House ballroom project to a body that oversees federal building construction, even though demolition work began earlier this week. Trump reveled on Tuesday in the demolition sounds by construction workers for the ballroom addition to the White House, the first major change to the historic property in decades. But critics, aghast about images of the White House walls crumbling after Trump had pledged the project, would not interfere with the existing landmark, said a review process should have taken place before the work began. The White House still intends to submit those plans to the National Capital Planning Commission, which oversees federal construction in Washington and neighboring states, a White House official told Reuters. Construction plans have not yet been submitted to the National Capital Planning Commission, but will be soon, the official said, adding that the NCPC does not have jurisdiction over demolition work. The commission is now led by Will Scharf, a White House aide. Asked why the demolition of East Wing walls was occurring despite Trump's promise that it would not affect the existing building, the official said modernization work was required in the East Wing and changes had always been a possibility. The scope and size was always subject to vary as the project developed, he said. The National Trust for Historic Preservation on Tuesday asked the Trump administration to pause the demolition until the Planning Commission review was completed. Its letter expressed concern that the proposed 90,000-square-foot ballroom will overwhelm the White House itself. The White House is 55,000 square feet. Trump, a former New York real estate magnate who has made changes to the Oval Office, Rose Garden, and other parts of the Executive Mansion complex since taking office in January, has long wanted to build a ballroom to host larger gatherings. Trump has said it will be paid for by himself and donors, allowing him to avoid seeking congressionally appropriated government funds, but raising questions about possible conflicts of interest. Brian Greene, who served as an NCPC commissioner under Democratic President Joe Biden, said demolition work was connected to the ballroom project. Demolition really cannot be separated from the new construction that follows, he said. These are linked. A tennis pavilion on White House grounds completed during Trump's first term went through a review process with the NCPC and the U.S. Commission of Fine Arts, Greene noted. Doing the same kind of review this time would have avoided the shock that many observers felt this week when the demolition began unannounced on Monday. Trump later said ground had been broken on the project after images of the demolition started circulating in news reports. You don't have the image of a wrecking ball hitting the president's house, one of the most important buildings in our country, by surprise to everyone except a small handful of people, Greene said. Trump's White House dismissed criticism, calling it manufactured outrage. It pointed to additions and renovations that have been made to the Executive Mansion and its grounds by presidents from Theodore Roosevelt to Bill Clinton.